Hi, I'm Mike Damergis along with the King, Scott Engel, and welcome to the Monday Night Victory Projector Spotlight, Scotty. And we have an old school matchup as the Giants head down to D.C. to take on the rejuvenated Washington Redskins, don't we?
Yes, we do. And the Monday Night Victory Projector, every week, the King projects right there below what the fantasy stats are going to be for your players. Monday night's so important. You find out really at the end whether you win or you lose. Everybody wants to know. And you can win great prizes. All you have to do is guess Pierre Garçon's receiving yardage, and you can win some great prizes on this page as well. So let's get to it. You can see all the stats right there.
That's right.
And I tell you whether you're going to win or you lose this week.
Let's start things off with Eli Manning and the Giants, of course. They seem to have things righted. They took care of Green Bay last week. Eli Manning got back on the board as far as touchdown go. Had 3 touchdowns against Green Bay last week. Has 15 on the season. What are your thoughts on his performance? What he's going to do this week?
He really needed the bye, and you could not only see that the zip was back on his passes, but he also looked more confident and bouncy in the pocket. You know, the confident Eli was there. Eli's a top 10 start this week. If you go into Monday night and you have Eli Manning going, I think you'd be very confident.
And the thing with Eli Manning, of course, he has, again, like I mentioned before, 15 touchdowns. He's probably not going to reach the number of touchdowns he had last year, year before that. Last 3 years, 27, 31, and 29, so he has 15 now. Maybe he'll get to 20, 21 before season's end.
Well, the key here for fantasy players is the Washington Redskins is a very good matchup for the Giants passing game. Hakeem Nicks is healthy. He used the bye week to his advantage. You got to start Hakeem Nicks. He's a must start. Victor Cruz,
That's right. He's going to help. He's going to be better now that Hakeem Nicks is back.
Yes, Victor Cruz, it can only help him. He did get in the end zone, even though he had only 36 receiving yards last week. Cruz and Nicks must starts coming in. Martellus Bennett, maybe he'll get a little bit worked in, but we haven't seen Martellus Bennett do much career-wise. I wouldn't use him, even though it's a very sorry state at tight end in fantasy football.
What about the injury now to Andre Brown? David Wilson, the Giants can look to David Wilson for the ground game now.
Well, David Wilson's probably not going to get enough carries to make a fantasy dent, but you have to keep him handcuffed right now. Any smart fantasy player knows it because Ahmad Bradshaw's not durable. Ahmad Bradshaw's probably going to get the goal line carries, etc. David Wilson, rosterable, but you don't use him in fantasy football right now.
Let's look at the Washington Redskins. Of course, Pierre Garçon last week versus Dallas. 4 receptions, 86 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, Pierre Garçon, I think you have to start him as a wide receiver 3. The foot is still an issue, but he said he's playing through it. He looked terrific on Thanksgiving. If Pierre Garçon gets behind the defense, he's gone. In a performance league where you get bonuses for long yardage, Pierre Garçon is a near must start as a wide receiver 2. Santana Moss is also interesting as well because when Robert Griffin III looks downfield, he likes to throw downfield a lot. He does it effectively. Moss has been a big play guy. If you're somewhat desperate at wide receiver, you can use Santana Moss.
And it seems like the Giants, on defense, have their mojo back, at least on the defensive line. They certainly did against Green Bay.
Yeah, but you know what? Alfred Morris has been very, very solid. I think he's a must start. Top 10 running back pretty much every week, no matter who he faces. And Robert Griffin III, just been a revelation as a fantasy player. He is a better pure passer than Cam Newton is or Michael Vick ever was. He's an elite must-start fantasy quarterback every single week. And if you're going into Monday night with Robert Griffin III as your fantasy quarterback, you got to feel really good.
The Giants, going back for decades now, going back to the Randall Cunningham days, always seem to have that running quarterback in the NFC East.
Well, you know what? There hasn't been running quarterbacks like Robert Griffin III where they run so well and they're such an adept pocket passer. I haven't seen anything like this since Steve Young.
Okay, he's a King, Scott Engel. I'm Mike Damergis for the Monday Night Victory Projector Spotlight.